During a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing this week, Kari Lake, the leader of the government's propaganda arm, Voice of America, was being questioned by Democratic Representative Greg Stanton, who of course happens to be a representative from the state of Arizona, where Kari Lake has tried multiple times to run for public office and failed humiliatingly every time she's tried. So Stanton decided to let everybody in the hearing know what a liar, an adjudicated liar, by the way, Kari Lake really is as she's sitting there testifying under oath. So here is how Stanton went after Kari Lake. I've seen you in action, including your behavior in the last two elections. The American people cannot believe a word you say. You ran for governor in Arizona in 2022. You lost fair and square. Instead of conceding, you embarrassed yourself and our state by lying again and again for years, blaming everything under the sun for your loss except your own toxic politics. Miss Lake, your new role requires you to tell the truth. I can't imagine how people fighting for democracy today and around the world can trust someone who has so shamelessly lied about her own election. You are an adjudicated liar and a two-time political loser in Arizona. You lost for governor in 2022 to Katie Hobbs. You lost even worse to Ruben Gallego for Senate in 2024. Well, Arizona has another election for governor next year. Will you do us all a favor and run it back and run for governor again? And to that, Kari Lake, who had just gotten verbally ripped to shreds, responded saying, "That was complete insanity. I wish I could yield back the last 5 minutes of my life, actually." Now, here's the thing, Kari. I know you thought you really had a great comeback, and she wasn't done. It actually does get much worse. But I just have to point out before I get into her defamatory statements that yielding back the last 5 minutes of your life would be to give back those 5 minutes to the man that just humiliated you. In essence, you're telling him you want to do it again. That's what yield back the last 5 minutes of my life means. So just to be grammatical here, what you said actually indicated you wanted to relive those moments where he just absolutely eviscerated you. But as I said, Kari Lake, who was there defending the cuts to Voice of America, by the way, then decided to go the defamatory route. Because after she said, "I wish I could yield back the last 5 minutes of my life," she then said, "I remember the stories about you where they said you had a gay lover and those were going to..." And as she attempted to keep talking, Democratic Representative Bill Keating jumped in and said, "Mr. Chairman, I hope your honor what you have just is a caution to everyone, and I move that those words be..." He was going to say stricken from the record, but Kari Lake once again interrupted and said, "Those lies could be broadcast today on Voice of America, and there was really nothing that could be done about it." So what Lake was attempting to do is say "Hey, remember that fake story about you having a gay lover?" She wanted to smear him in Congress. That's why she did it. She could have just said there was a fake story about you and Voice of America. They could run that and nobody can stop anybody from doing it. That's why we got to cut it and kill it, right? There's so many things wrong with that. But let me go ahead and tell you this. Because I had to do some digging, did a little bit of research. You can, in fact, sue Voice of America for defamation. Now, technically, Voice of America is, of course, a government outlet. But at the same time, being a government entity does not completely shield you from defamation, slander, libel lawsuits. The actual malice standard still exists. If a government official goes out with actual malice and slanders somebody, you can sue them. You absolutely 100% can. They are not shielded from the law. The bar is just a little bit higher. So Kari Lake's assertion that we can go on Voice of America and just say whatever, even if it's lies and nobody can do anything, that's why it sucks, that's not true. That is a lie. So Stanton, once again, proved correct because we can't believe a damn word that Kari Lake says. Now, here's the thing, though. Since we're talking about actual malice, did Kari Lake say that knowing it was a lie? Absolutely not. Kari Lake is very stupid. Kari Lake is not a smart individual. And so She said this because she genuinely believes it. So there was no actual malice behind it. Not that, it was defamatory, her saying we can't, be sued. She's just a moron. So, there's that. The point is this. Voice of America, I know some people may care, like if they shut it down or if they don't shut it down. I don't care. Voice of America, to be perfectly honest with you, if you look into what it does, it mostly airs overseas. And typically kind of what it is a lot of pro-America propaganda. We're not really losing anything if they shut it down. If they keep it running, that's actually where we run the risk, because it's being run by Kari Lake, which right off the bat should tell you, well, we probably should get rid of it. And two, it's going to be pro-Trump propaganda running across the planet. Do you want that? No. No, you don't. So if they do end up destroying it, I feel bad for the people who work there. I don't want anybody to lose their jobs. But at the same time, maybe that's not something that needs to be saved. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.